What's up, guys? I hope you're having an awesome Saturday. So last week we had the amazing gypsy jazz guitarist Stefan Rembel inside of Chase's Guitar Academy hosting one of these jazz master sessions that we do every single month. And it was really a blast. So what I want to share with you guys today is this framework Stefan went through, which takes us from very basic beginner triads and uses those to create beautiful melodies. So we're going from basic triads that everyone should know, or I'm going to show you right now, and how we can use those to create amazing melodies. This is the same framework that Stefan uses when he's improvising. So we're learning directly from one of these pros, one of these legends. So the very first step here is to learn the harmony. And the tune that we're going to be using for today is the jazz standard All of Me, also a gypsy jazz standard. So whether you play either style, it is a classic tune to know. So I just want to go over the chords real quick so that we can make sure we all have the same starting point, and then we'll get into the next few steps. It's only 4 steps taking us from beginner to pro. So let's go through the chords real quick. So these are the specific voicings that Stefan uses when he's comping through it. Again, if you want to check out the PDF for this, you can sign up for a free trial of Chase's Guitar Academy, and that's where all of these PDFs for all these YouTube lessons are stored. So this is the basic framework for All of Me. Step 2 here is we learn the triad shapes associated with each of these chords. And there's only really 2 different forms we're looking at. So the first chord is C. C major, C6, in this case he's playing C6-9, all C major. So we have 3 shapes for C major triad, right? The first one we're looking at is here. And Stefan only uses for this the top 4 strings. He thinks of the 5th and 6th string almost like a different instrument. That's a little bit beyond the scope of this video. Just these 4 strings. And then we go up to the next shape, and then the 3rd shape, and then back down. So for each of these, C major, you just go like that. For E7, we have these 3 shapes. Then we go to A7, so again, A major. So let's do D minor now. Then we go back to E, E7. We'll deal with the dominant 7th later. Then we have A minor. Then we have D7, so D major. And then G7, G major. Second half of this tune, we go back to that beginning part, starting with C. So C major, E major for E7, A7 for, so we have A for A7. Don't worry if these chord shapes up high are a little bit hard to handle. We're really just focused on visualizing them, even if playing through it, you get some flub notes, that's okay. So A, D minor, and now we have some new chords here, F, starting with F, and since it's just a measure, we're only playing 2 voicings for this. So F, and F, and then F minor. If you want to go through the whole thing on your own, you'd have F, F, and then F up here. But when Stefan goes through it, he only does 2 of them since that's the amount of time we have. Going back to C then, just 2 beats. To A, 2 beats, right? And then we have D minor, G, and C. So again, for that last 8 bars, we're just doing 2 chord shapes for each of the chords so that we can actually do it in time. And you can practice this with a backing track. Stefan actually has some great backing tracks for all of me, and I'll link those in the description. So that's step 2. Step 3 now is we use those triad shapes to arpeggiate the chord. And this is going to start to get us to hear some of the melodic notes within that chord, and that will turn into us building melodies. So when you're doing this pattern, the key thing to work on is trying to stay within a certain zone, as Stefan calls it. Sort of like a position, but we allow ourselves some flexibility. Basically, don't jump around, just try and stay to the next closest triad shape. So starting off with C down here. My next closest triad shape would be E right here. A, D minor. Going back now to E, A minor, D right here, G. So even just that, we're starting to play through the C to E. What this is doing for us is showing us those transition points. For example, we have the G of the C goes up to the G sharp for the E. So it's letting our ear get used to what notes are changing from one chord to the next in a melodic way instead of just chord to chord. And then like when it goes to A, we hear the G sharp go to A. So it's building that voice leading within our ear. And then we can go through this for the entire tune. So let's try that real quick. Okay, so we had some flubs in there, but that is how you would practice through it. So going through it with the backing track or without at whatever tempo makes sense for you. Now, once we've done that, we've arpeggiated the triads. Now we can start building some melodies, creating some melodies that we're hearing or that we have as reference from other solos. So we have learned the harmony, step 1. Step 2, we learn the shape. Step 3, we arpeggiate the shapes like we just did. Step 4 now, we're going to create melodies. And we do this still within the context of those arpeggios we were working through, so those triad shapes, and just start to build them. I'm going to do it in a very systematic way so that it's very clear how you might just apply one. But when you're actually practicing this, you can create your own melodies. They don't have to stay the same from one chord to the next. You want to start hearing them while still referencing the harmony. So let's play through that example. So in this example, we're using a fairly simple melodic idea after the triad. Just really that 3-2-1 coming down for these triad shapes. Just right off whatever major scale or minor scale we are playing related to the chord. And you might think, okay, this sounds a little bit more classical than jazz, and you would be correct in this specific solo example. But let's hear how someone like Stefan, when you actually are implementing this with improvisation in mind, how that actually might sound.
See what I mean? I stay like here, like strictly with the shape. See, like just with those shapes, it's just beautiful. You materialize the harmony.
And so that's really the goal of exercises and studies like this one, is it really opens up the shapes and the awareness of where these notes are for each of the chords in the harmony. And that's what then allows us to hear these melodies. And I also have a more jazz solo study for all of me that uses these same triads on Chase's Guitar Academy, which you can check out there. Why don't we just play a little bit of a clip of that right now so you can hear what that sounds like. Okay, so there you have it. That is the simple 4-step framework that Stefan shared with us on the Jazz Master sessions. Step 1, learn the harmony. Step 2, learn your triad shapes. Step 3, arpeggiate through those triad shapes. And step 4, start creating melodies based on those chords. Simple, but difficult, as Stefan says. So it's not complicated, but it is simple and it is difficult because of the amount of practice and dedication it takes to achieve that. And if you would like support in doing that, then I invite you to join the 14-day free trial of Chase's Guitar Academy. Check out the link in the description below. That's also where you can find all the PDFs for these YouTube videos. So thanks guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next video. In the meantime, I'm practicing all of me.